The Hepco Becker Centrestand for the V-Strom 800 is just under £100 cheaper than the factory Suzuki option, which is the sole reason I bought it, so today I'll tell you how I've got on with it in the first month. I'll start with the install because I originally planned to make a video showing the full process, but I found the instructions really unclear, so instead I took it to my local bike garage. They charged me an hour's labour and said it was a little bit fiddly, and the only other point worth mentioning on the subject of fitting is that the stand doesn't come with any grease, so if you do fit it yourself, you'll need to buy some if you don't already have some. The build quality though seems very good. It's made of really chunky steel, as you'd expect, and it has a powder coated finish that looks very smart. And because it's black, it blends in nicely, so I never notice it when I look at the bike. Now, a centre stand of course has to be very strong, so it might not surprise you to hear that this weighs in at 3.5 kilos, which is just under £8. I also have the Hepco Becker crash bars that weigh a similar amount, so the accessories really can pack the pounds on this bike, which is already a heavy beast as stock. And as daft as it might sound, I'm actually considering getting a lithium battery to cancel out some of the weight gain. This is my first big adventure bike, and I find it really awkward to move around my driveway, so any weight saving is worthwhile for me. Now, the V-Strom isn't exactly a knee-down bike, and I'm not exactly a MotoGP rider, but I haven't found the centre stand affect ground clearance on the road, and I haven't scraped it while riding yet. Although I should say that I haven't done any off-roading, so I can't tell you how it affects off-road ground clearance. But what about actually using it? Well, this is my first ever centre stand, and while people always say that they are amazing to have on a bike, nobody ever tells you how difficult they are to get used to. I've watched various videos on YouTube showing how to do this, and experienced centre stand users make it look easy. So I'm sure I'll get used to it in time when I perfect the technique and timing, but for now I'm really struggling with it. I believe you're supposed to stand the bike upright with both sides of the centre stand touching the ground, then stand on the rear of the centre stand and push the bike backwards. Now, it's harder than it looks, but I think the key to it is standing upright and pushing the bike backwards gently, rather than leaning away from it and trying to muscle it out of the way like I'm doing here. And believe it or not, I'm already better at it now than I was a week ago, so hopefully I'll get this nailed soon. When the centre stand is up, it of course gives you enough ground clearance to spin the rear wheel, but not much more, and my tyre sometimes scrapes the ground on my uneven driveway, but that's still enough to make wheel cleaning and chain maintenance easy, and in fact I cleaned my chain for the first time the week after I had the centre stand fitted. The bike also feels much more solid resting on the centre stand than it does on the side stand, although I'll be using the side stand until I get the technique right. If you think it's embarrassing showcasing my centre stand technique on YouTube, I can tell you it's much more embarrassing displaying it in public. Now, I can't update you with longevity of course, but I will update you with how it fares long term, so make sure you like and subscribe for future updates as well as more biking goodness, and until next time, ride safe.